後に再開。ここはドアがある。開く。こっちに行けんのかな。なんかの家かな。どんどん突き進んで、どんどん突き進んで。何？
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
バージョン2。確かにバージョン2だな。覚えてないな。確か冷蔵庫だったかな。洗濯機がマジで欲しいな。照明がいる。テスラコイルを四隅に置こう。Yeah。なんだこれ。広がった。
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
前衛的だ。
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
前歩く。なんだっけ、おしゃれ出すよ。これから案内するよ。OK。セーブルをクリックする。額縁？これかな？これからオンにする。電気スタンドあった。奥にずらす。こっちかい。穴に触れる。実際の教師これでスタート中に戻ると刑務所にワープする。なるほど。行こうか。
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
今度は外。民家。 出てくんの？左？右？クリア。ここに入れって。
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
ハグの迷宮にいた。
But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
静止しながら動いているような、そんな感じがする。全く何も変わらない。代わりに得るものがあるよ。電話するのは私が最初なんだろう。誠実さになりさえすればいい。これどれでもいいんじゃないの？
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
次は
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
こっちはなんかいるって。当時どうだろう。
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work.
Where is the
This
table?
particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
ほら片付けたぜ。お寝室どこ？オーケー。これかな？おい。ソファーにある枕。これかな？おい。おいおい。めっちゃイカれようじゃないか。めっちゃイカれましょう。 考えてるの？これどっちが顔なの？洗うか。これバスタブの掃除？これか。オッケー。本が散らかってる。オッケー。だろ？
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like
そ
cleansing.
うだね。
It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest
この
inside
雑用はいつか終わる
and
の？
eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
人は家を守り、家は人を守る。まあ少しは真理をついてるんじゃないかな。もういいや。しょうがないな。何回散らかすんだい。
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
これじゃないの？
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
歩き続けることね。よし。次は何？街灯。コーダのお気に
Which
入
is
り。
the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
より良い人生のため、より良い仕事を得るため。うん。ああ、頼むよ。うん。
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
何これ？
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
この黄色いの選択しろってこと？変なの。あ、冗談だよ。なんかいるけど。今気づいたけど。
fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
舞台なんかあんのかな。おい。OK。話しかける。いやすみません。あなたが好きです。おお、いい感じじゃない？会話になること、一体どのような犠牲を払ったんですか？違う？おっ、いいぞ。こっち？あっちか。これでいいのかな。ちょっとおい。こっち？
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
もっと走ってくれ。
But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
「助けて目が見えないんだ」。これを永遠にしてはいけない。どういうこと？寝てんのかい？来る。 もう一度
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
何が起こってるん
And
だ
there is a solution, by the way.
誰か僕と話してよ。お、上行った。うわー、当たる。全く何にも見えないよ。上行って、進んで、僕あんま関係ないの。正直話すことよ。もうゲームを作れない。私の作品はどれももうゲームを作れない。
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So, where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
何ここ。もしもし。もしもし、誰かいますか？お、進める。作品への活力が全く残っていない。私を動かしてくれる機会が止まったんだ。なんだって？こっち？こっちか。
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
なんかある。
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
内側のスイッチを押す必要があるね。内側のスイッチを押す必要があるね。進まないのか。ドアを開ける必要があると。開けて、入って、最初のドアを閉める。で、内側のドア。
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
ここに機械はない。だが断る。想像は簡単だ。難しかった試しがない。
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him
何
create.
一つ助かってない。
For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
いつも最終的には成功する。
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain.
来た。
I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
もう終わりにしてくれ。とりあえずここで終わり。